Warning. Warning. UFO detected.
Oh, wow, what a great intro. Man, I'm hyped. I'm ready to go and kick some alien butt. Yeah, let's do it. Just FYI, that's not going to happen. So from one game that is relaxing and easygoing, to one of the most brutally difficult and unfair experiences it was possible to have on the PC in 1994. Aside from trying to stay on the internet while your family insisted on using the phone. UFO Enemy Unknown was the very first entry in what we all know now as the XCOM franchise, and it was yet another brand new experience for me. The scope of the game felt impossibly large, in the sense that the first thing that happens is you're presented with an entire globe, and you have to pick where to base your operations. Before you've tried and failed a few times, you don't realise that the only sensible choice is the east coast of the USA. So you plonk it down in Newcastle, why not? From there, you're tasked with running a worldwide military initiative to repel an alien invasion, using attack aircraft and ground assaults with troops. You need to build facilities and sensor arrays, research new technology, capture and study alien technology to replicate and look after a staff of scientists, mechanics and soldiers. Nothing I'd ever played on a console had ever allowed that many levels of depth, complexity and varied gameplay. The basic game loop is that you shoot down an enemy ship in the overworld view, and then you send a ground crew to clean up the mess. This takes you to a turn-based isometric tactical combat scenario in which you use your soldiers to kill or capture the remaining aliens and recover all the artifacts. But that is a lot easier said than done, as the aliens are extremely smart and brutally dangerous. But not quite as dangerous as the misleading statistics. You see, each time you have an alien in your sights, you get a number of options on how to take it down. You can take an aimed shot, which has a higher percentage chance to hit, but you can only take one of these per turn. Whereas you could have two or maybe even more snapshots, which are quicker but less accurate. A missed shot usually leaves your crew devastatingly exposed, so these are important choices, and you are regularly treated to an unlikely miss from an above 90% hit chance, which doesn't feel great. The first time you play this, there is a absolutely zero chance of winning. The game brutalizes you. They can't miss. You can't hit a cow's ass with a banjo. Every member of your squad is Ray Charles. You've got no chance at all. You get thoroughly routed and you reload the game. But next time, you're more cautious. You let them come to you. You take your time. You put your squad in Overwatch. And maybe you make it back with some crew members left intact. And some new tech to study. And then you're off. You can make this experience even more tense and harrowing if you rename your squad to people you know in real life. Which of course, I always did. And the experience system that gives your troops promotions and stat boosts for every kill and completed mission can really turn the screws on you when you make a bad call or get done with a missed shot and lose one or more of your most experienced sergeants. This encourages you to switch up your roster to keep some safe while others are in the line of fire, so you actually start thinking like a general. Don't get attached. Don't do it. Once you complete a mission, you can research the things that you recover to develop new weapons, armor, and even aircraft, and that's the really addictive part of this game. Once you start harvesting the fruits of that hard labour on the ground, you start to see the tables turn. Your soldiers can take more hits in better armour. They can dole out more punishment with alien laser technology. and you start being able to down their ships with next to no effort. You can even give your soldiers weird alien mind powers at one point, and you start to feel like you've earned enough tangible benefits that you can start to be in charge of the war. I got really invested in the journey from plucky defensive underdog to dominant military power, and it was a level of rewarding I hadn't previously experienced. The loop gets some fun variation thrown in from time to time too. The aliens can invade your base, for example, which means you have to launch a ground mission inside your own headquarters. The nice touch here is that the isometric map is really modelled on the layout of your base. Wherever you've put each facility on the site map is actually reflected in the layout of the fight. The aliens can also launch terror attacks in particular countries, and how you respond with your limited resources can affect how much funding each nation's willing to continue to provide your project, so there's politics involved. There's also a balance between how much stuff you get on a mission you keep to research, and how much you might want to sell on the black market to plug those holes in funding where certain countries have pulled out, or in some cases, maybe have even been taken over by aliens. There's actually more detail and more micromanagement involved in this game than in the modern XCOM games, which means while the games have become more user-friendly and accessible, they've sacrificed complexity and therefore to some degree immersion. Going back to this game today is brutally difficult, but it's tough to beat in terms of a fully featured simulation. So you can see the mission summary here. This isn't how it's supposed to go. You can see that what I actually did here was I watched an alien craft land somewhere in England, and then essentially gave them one of my aircraft by sending all my guys in to get murdered. That's not how it's supposed to go, ideally. The XCOM franchise actually contains a lot of my favourite games of all time, and we're going to talk about more of these as the videos continue, but this was the first and arguably the purest, and is well worth its place in the top 121 games of all time, despite how angry it can make you.